Here we're getting ready to watch the 1956 Grand Floral Parade of the Portland Rose Festival. This is not a part of the parade. It's simply a little advertising going on ahead. But now, with some of Portland's finest, the motorcycle escort, leading the parade, the Portland Police Drum and Bugle Corps again, marching down one of Portland's streets, and then the Royal Rosarians, an organization devoted to telling the story of the rose and spreading the glory of the Portland Rose to all corners of the land. A very fine group of gentlemen dedicated to their community and to service. One of the many fine bands which took part in the Rose Festival Parade, as they do each year. And here is the Queen's Float. On it, Queen Sharon with the princesses. We feel that the floats in the Portland Rose Festival Parade are something that you will thrill to as each one of them passes by. Decorated with thousands upon thousands of living flowers. Moving on down the street and out of sight. Now, another beautiful float coming into view. Journey to Fantasyland. The ferry out there in front of the float, and that castle. And here's Rob Roy. Remember the story of that famous fairy tale? Float sponsored by the First National Bank of Portland with the castle in the background. Notice the moat and the drawbridge, everything complete in detail. And of course, one of Disneyland's favorites, because that was the theme of the Rose Festival Parade, it's Disneyland in flowers, is Dumbo. The Oregon City Junior Chamber of Commerce. Oregon City, a very thriving and prosperous community just a few miles to the south. Of course, one of Disney's favorites is Bambi. And that little doe is depicted in flower, and there is a red ribbon for second place, entered by the Hollywood district of Portland. Portland General Electric Company float moving down. Portland Gas and Coke Company with their float depicting Tomorrowland, the flying saucer out in front with the spaceman in there, the stars extended over the flying saucer, and in back it looks like a bit of Sputnik on top of the hourglass. And here comes a mad genie, apparently. All of the animals of the forest which have made Walt Disney so famous. Of course, one of the top on the Disney hit parade is Davy Crockett, entered by the community of Gresham, about 13 miles to the east of Portland. Here is a beautiful, beautiful float in blue and white, Winter Wonderland. And then the Reluctant Dragon with another castle, and this dragon in shades of green. General Petroleum Company entering this float. The United States National Bank of Portland, and there is the irrepressible Mickey Mouse. Here is a beautiful, beautiful float. Which has been entered by the Portland Retail Trade Bureau. There's one of those fancy steppers that just captivate the audience along the parade route. The city of Pasadena, which also, as I'm sure you all know, conducts a Rose Floral Parade on New Year's Day each year, has an entry which took honors. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, entered by the Farmers Insurance Group. And here from Rockaway Beach, one of Oregon's coastal communities, is a pirate ship. These flowers are all living, and many hours go into the designing and the execution of these floats. One of the fine bands moving past the spectators who line the parade route for miles and miles. The Bank of California depicts the showboat, which you'll see if you go to Disneyland sometime, or have seen if you've been there. With that banjo player sitting out in front. And here is the Grand Sweepstakes winner, the float entered by the Meyer and Frank Company. Portland store. This is a very pretentious and a very beautiful and almost astoundingly beautiful float. The swans circling the fountain on the lake, the castle in the background, Fantasia. With the rainbows behind the castle, lovely young ladies. This is the Rose Festival Parade, which you will see, a parade similar to that, of course, with 50 golden years as a theme this year. And here's Pluto and members of the Portland Police Canine Corps, the dogs, who serve with the Portland Police Bureau. Then a trip to the moon, with the rocket ship pointed straight up for that old moon. Pacific Telephone and Telegraph Company. Here's Spaceman. These kids have a wonderful time. Ooey, Louie, Bluey. This was a wonderful theme for a festival parade, of course. The city of Bremerton, Washington entered that last float you caught just a momentary glimpse of. And now, here comes another one, and of course this is one of the all-time favorites, Cinderella. Shell Oil Company. There's always something thrilling about a parade, and the bands, of course, contribute tremendously to that. Here come a group of flag swingers from an Oregon community. Here are some pirates who have come down from the Northland to enter the parade. Vancouver, Washington entered this float, which took honors the mermaids and the underwater growth. And Disneyland is depicted again in this entry, which shows some of the features you'll find in that fabulous place. The elephant, the trained seals, and so forth. Notice the unusual treatment on this float. Donald Duck with the plaid skirt. And here's Minnie Mouse. We saw Mickey just a while ago. One of the tallest gentlemen you'll ever see in a parade. This fellow standing almost 7 feet tall, looking even taller with that tall hat on. And here is that team of horses. As a matter of fact, I believe that they had a little trouble later on. But for the time being, they performed magnificently. Social welfare is represented, the employees of the State Welfare Department, making that float and providing the money. And of course, Indians play a great part in the story of the Northwest, and these Indians added to our Rose Festival Parade in 1956, coming down from Pendleton, where the internationally famous roundup is held. And now the parade's all over, and the crowd starts to wend its way to other attractions which are a part of the Rose Festival. Ships of the United States Navy anchored at Portland's seawall on the Willamette River, and crowds, thousands of them, pouring aboard and off and taking advantage of the opportunity. And of course, Lambert Gardens, a place you won't want to miss when you come here. The beauty of formal and informal gardens, and the beauty of birds like this, the peacock strutting his splendor.